All right. So again, my name is Brenda Garcia. For the third time, welcome again to Fresno City College and starting your fall semester here. The presentation that you're sitting in for today is going to be for the applied technology or the tech and trades pathway. That means that you are in here because you have specific majors that fall within our pathway. If you are unsure if you're in this pathway or you feel that you've gone into the wrong room, there are other meeting rooms that you can pop back in. If you receive the email from our college relations teams, then you're able to go back. I may not be able to share those links right away with you simply because I will be going through the presentation as best as I can. So I am taking this opportunity now that if you are not in the correct pathway, that you refer back to the college relations team, any of the emails, and they can provide you with the correct one. So we'll go ahead and get started. All right, I will be sharing my screen so that everyone has an opportunity to see what I am speaking about, and you get to see all the great things that we have here within Tech and Trades. Okay, now let's see. Okay, so for our Tech and Trades pathway here at Fresno City College, we focus highly on students that have more of that exploratory career interest and anything in the technology fields, things that are hands-on. You love working with tools, anything mechanical, electrical, drawings, machines, you name it. A lot of these are very hands-on trades that a lot of our students enjoy working with and getting to know our faculty. The uniqueness of our pathways is that, or our majors, excuse me, is that we have everything that is available here so that you are successful. You're going to hear me say that pretty frequently in this presentation, because by you coming to Fresno City College, our goal is to ensure that you're getting yourself to that end goal, which is graduation, getting your associate's degree, your certificates, whatever your heart's desire, we're here to set that up. But your effort will be just as equally important to make sure that we put you in that end goal. It's going to be a team effort. But as far as tech and trades goes, you're in this because you just love working with anything hands-on. Your creativity is always challenged and you're just wanting to explore more. So if not, and whatever you hear within today's presentation and you discover that there's other things you've been interested in, then you can always revisit changing your major or adding something that you've always been interested to do as well. So what do we have here in tech and trades? We have the following majors that are listed here, from architecture, automotive technology, computer-aided drafted design, computer-aided manufacturing, let's see. And I'm jumping around because we're still having students join. Construction, electric systems, fire technology, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, or HVAC. Any of our first responders, which would fall in police, fire, and EMT, and then visual media, as well as welding technology. So all of these have, again, very hands-on based trades. The industry is constantly changing, it's constantly evolving, and there's always a need. So of course, we're always going to need great welders out there. We're always going to be looking for our manufacturers that are in the warehouses or in other companies that are frequently using robotics and machines like that. So the nice thing about it is that we have the tools, we have the faculty to be able to teach you and get you set up for those entry-level positions. And or if you're interested in just furthering your education and your experience, having these set up so that you can do a transfer route and go on to a four-year university. Not all of them offer that, but those that can, we have a connection with Fresno State. We have some understandings and agreements that we have with other campuses that look for students that are transferring based on the majors that we have to offer. All right, so in this pathway, we're developed of an entire team, and that team consists of deans, counselors, instructors, student services staff members, and everything that we do to ensure that we can support you in the following areas. So academic advising, support and intervention, financial aid, transfer and career support. So it doesn't just mean you're coming to school, you're taking the class, and you're, going home for the rest of the day. Really maximize the time that you have and the effort that you have in being in our pathway, and speaking with the faculty and the staff that are willing to be there to help you. So what does that look like? In short, it's just kind of how we will support you. You, the student, get to connect with all these different services that I mentioned before, and they're all here for you. So take advantage as much as you can. Ask all the right questions. I would hate for you to ever believe that you have to know everything on day one that you step foot on our campus. That would be a complete lie. Instead, I'd rather know that you have a place to go and ask the questions that you need to make sure that you have someone available. Even if we don't know the answer to it right away, you have that person that can guide you to the next person, to the next service. So for example, I don't know everything about financial aid, but I know where the financial aid office is. And if you have a financial aid question, I'm going to personally, in the event, walk you over so that you feel comfortable enough to go. And then you feel a little bit more supported, because sometimes it's a little scary to come on campus and you don't know where certain things are, what questions to ask. I will get you there, and then after that, it's all up to you. So within tech and trades, the reasons why our pathways exist is that there's, again, aside from the dedicated team, there's a dedicated team of counselors. So many of us have different schedules. Many of us have different projects, or our caseloads may be high depending on the day. So instead of having to feel limited to just one counselor like you did when you were in high school, or that you are only able to see one person at a time, we want to open it up as broad as possible so that you have a different team. So this is the current team that we have right now. If you're in a special program such as EOPS, Rodney Murphy is the person that you will be there. Ms. D. Goshgarian is our current counselor here at the Applied Technology office. And you're wondering, where are you located? You keep saying come here. I am located in the T100 building, and she is also. Now, she is our current counselor right now, so her agenda and schedule gets booked pretty quickly. But again, if you can't get booked with D, you can always go with Julie, Paulette, whoever's available. And so the way that you would do this is you can actually set up the appointment yourself, and you could do it through our pathways URL, which is located right below, or you can attend by coming into the office and scheduling an appointment as well. The last place is your student portal or your self-service portal that you can actually set it up. So there's different methods that you can make an appointment. Now it's a matter of you sticking to it as well. All right. So when you select the person you're going to have your meeting with, you're obviously going to select the reason why you need help. It can be for general questions. It can be because you fell into probation and you don't understand how you got there or what it means. And then the last one that is the most common that we frequently see students for is for a student educational plan. And that plan alone allows us as counselors to create a semester by semester plan that will help map out the entire time that you're here so you're ready to graduate. And the best thing about it is that it's not completely set in stone, because we know different things happen in life. You may have to go part-time one semester, you have too many more, you need to take more classes because you're trying to catch up. So every scenario constantly changes, and therefore it plays a really important role in your student educational plan. So every semester, we ask you to try to visit a counselor to try to see that your student educational plan hasn't changed, or in short, you'll hear us say SEP. And if it doesn't, great, you continue to move on to that plan that we set in place together, or you come back and modify it wherever you need. The other thing is that if your classes aren't available, then you can always come back and see a counselor, so that way they can see what else can be offered so that you can still stay on track. But for the three, there's three great opportunities for you to meet with our counselors. Of course, you're going to choose your date and your time that you want to meet with a counselor. Now, this is important because you know your schedule more than anybody else. What is available is what you will see as far as selecting who it's going to be with and at what time. So if you're old school like me, write it down. If you are so great at your phone, write it in your phone, save it as a calendar, put 3 reminders in there if you need to. But the thing is, and I share this because it does happen, we'll have students that have a 9 o'clock appointment and then it's 9:45 and they're hoping that they're still going to be seen. If your appointment is at 9, please respect that appointment and please arrive on time, if not earlier. But also understand that walk-ins are not as common unless they're dedicated days. And currently we don't have those set up yet. The only time that we will have it will be the first 2 weeks of class. Aside from that, we ask that you try to stay with your appointment. The appointments are also available if you go in person. If you prefer to meet with a counselor in person, you can also do them virtually. And in sometimes you could also do it via phone. I'm going to warn, though, that if you plan to do it virtually, again, show up on time. You don't have to have your camera on. That's not an obligation, but sometimes it helps. But I can say, make sure that you make the effort to do it in a quiet area, or even if it's in your car that you're not driving to the drive-through and you're, placing an order for Burger King and you're trying to have a meeting, it makes it really complicated and it makes it hard for the counselor to really convey the message and for you to ask all the questions you need. So be present, be available, and make sure you're there on time. All right, we're gonna, at the end of, once we figured all that out, we're gonna review and confirm. So does the date and time look correct? Is the person that you wanna meet with there? And if it's for the right reason, you can always add more to what you wanna meet with us for. If it's just your SEP, you can add, well, I wanna do my SEP because I need to add more classes because I'm short a couple of units, or am I on track to graduation? So giving us a little bit more of a room to be prepared when we meet with you can always help. So what makes it important for you meeting with us? Like I said, your SEP is probably going to be the one thing that you're going to be the most drawn to meeting with us for. Updates and transfer information. If you are setting yourself up and you have shared with the counselor that you're planning to go to a four-year university, making sure that you're on track and then you're not surprised in the end that you failed to meet one of the requirements to transfer and then you're having to stay another semester just because something got lost in translation or we just missed it for some reason. It's important for us to know that you are willing and wanting to go to a transfer route because there's different general education plans that we need to look at in order to make sure that you are going to that route. Now, if you're only planning to do an associate's, that's okay too. We just make sure that we look at the correct plan so you're taking the right general education classes along with your major courses. We want to review your progress. How are you doing your grades? Are you in good academic standing? Are we getting close to probation and we need to figure out a different game plan? So things like that. You want to change your major, nothing is set in stone. I've not heard it once that you feel like you're going to only stick to welding and that's all you're going to do. And on the contrary, you could do welding now, you can add a certificate in CAD and CAM, or change it altogether. We have enough time to do that. We want to do it as early as possible so that you feel confident and ready to go into it. So major changes can be done with counselors as well. Dropping, or if you are going to fail a course, you can always come in and speak with a counselor as well. So if it's in a certain time of the semester, we want to be careful at deadlines. The first week or so, it's okay to drop and add classes, but as the time goes on into the semester and you're finding that it's just getting more complicated, you're just not understanding the material and you're about to fail, then setting up a plan with your counselor to see what would be the best option, if either withdrawing or if we finish it off and then repeat it again another semester. Registration hold, sometimes they can appear out of nowhere or you forget and you're like, I'll do it later. I have a small business hold, I'll just take care of it later. Sometimes that can catch up to you. And if you don't take care of it, then it may prevent you from enrolling into your classes. So you may not know what that registration hold may look like. So coming in to see us and finding out what that is always a great option. If you plan to be going above and beyond, you can always take an excess units, and anything excess is as we get closer to 18 units. And so for that, we need to get an agreement to say that you are willing to take all these classes, you're going to perform well, and that a counselor is under the same understanding that you're going to put in that same effort. So we do need to have a specific petition for excess units. The last petition that you can always come to a counselor for is for a third repeat. A third repeat, it occurs when you've attempted the same subject course. I'm going to use biology because biology was never my friend when I was in college, but I did well. If you failed it the first time, came back, tried it a second time and still failed, then you have to do a third repeat as a petition. And that means that you're trying it for the third time. And in that third time, you're going to pass. If you do not, then there are other things that have to be considered to either swap out the attempt of taking the course. And what I mean by that is you failed it 3 times. Now we have to find an alternative class that might make up for that criteria. So just be very careful. We want to avoid you guys getting to the third repetitions at any point because that's units that can hit your GPA. So by doing everything above that I just mentioned, we'll really put you and set you up to avoid those third repeats. Right. Student success. Some of these are going to be like, Brenda, I know these already. It's not a big deal. I can do this. But for those of us that have never been to college, or it's been a while that we've been in school, it can be intimidating. So here are just a few tips. I'm going to be super transparent with you guys on some of these, just because of how I know our faculty are here, and especially the industries and the trades that you're going into. They're going to work on setting you up to be a great employee leaving here. So yes, you're going to get the educational training provided for each of the majors you would like to go into, but that also means that when you leave the campus and you've received your associates, your certificate of achievement, then you have the right foundation to be a great employee. So go to class, make it on time. That means if you have already heard the horrors of our parking, and yes, we have a beautiful parking structure, but it's all the way across campus, when you know that your class is going to be in the OAB building. So, we're talking a walk from Blackstone all the way to Weldon. So understanding that time frame. So showing up, if you know your first class is at 8 in the morning, I would honestly recommend try to get here at 7:15 in the morning, because you want to get those first spots and getting as closest to the classes that you are at. It's going to be the first week of school. Everyone's going to be kind of panicking and looking for parking, and that includes staff too. So being mindful over your parking, ensure that it's a student parking and then it's not staff, because aside from us being amazing at getting students to their academic goals, sadly, that also means parking is enforced. So making sure that you're a class on time. Your time management is going to be tested and challenged, but as long as you make the effort to be there, make sure you do that. I'm going to also share that there are some instructors that, again, they're going to get you ready to be a good employee. They may close the door. So if it's 8 o'clock and your class started at 8 o'clock and it's locked, you are now late or you are not coming into the class. So please ensure that you make the effort to go to class on time, but also go to class. Some areas do have it where if you miss certain so many classes, class sessions, it does affect your grade, and we don't want that to happen. Complete your assignments on time and as best as possible. So most of these, I'm going to give a great example. Our construction instructor shared with us last week that he gives out these homework assignments and they're not due the next day that they see you. It's usually due the next week. If he gives you the entire week and you are barely starting it at Sunday evening and something happens that you can't get it, he may not get back to you at an email, and he's just going to be like, you know what, I gave you the entire week and you're barely making the effort to do it on Sunday. So take advantage of the week that you can, because that is what it's utilized for, and ask all the right questions. If it means that you have to go get tutorial services or you just got to sit in with the office hours, you can also do that as well. So again, time management is just really going to be one of the make it or break it's a lot of the times, because you are now juggling going to school, you're juggling making it on time. Maybe you're working a part-time job, a full-time job. So take all those things into consideration, create a game plan that's going to be as close to perfect as possible, because it's always going to change depending on what's going on in the day. Office hours are extremely important because our instructors are literally in their offices just waiting for students to come in and ask. And they absolutely love that you guys go in to see them, because you guys are willing to go ask for help and for questions. Sometimes it's as easy as you've attempted to do a quiz and the quiz just shut down on you. Technology has a funny way of doing things. So we want to make sure that you communicate that with your instructor, and you'd be surprised. Sometimes it could reopen it for you, or say, you know what, there's going to be another quiz. Your communication and taking advantage of those office hours are really going to take you guys much further than you would expect. Don't let it be intimidating. They were once students too. Yes, they have their degrees, and yes, they're specialized in the industry and trade that they're in, but they know that because they're wanting to get you there as well. So take advantage of that. Utilize all communication options as possible. I can't stress enough, and I won't assume that everyone has a cell phone, but those of you that have some kind of device, take advantage. And if you don't, come by Fresno City, go to the library before it's too late and they run out. Check out a laptop. If they have a tablet that you can check out for the semester, I would definitely utilize it, because we know technology can be expensive and we don't want to have you using your entire financial aid if you're receiving it. So use that. Use your Canva. If they give you their emails and say you can email me at any time, you'd be surprised. Sometimes they can, but don't forget, they also have lives too. So if you plan accordingly, it definitely will work in your favor. All right. Yes, you do need a parking permit for the entire campus, and so I'll go over parking permits. Chris, I saw your chat your question in the chat. All right, lastly is our tutorial center. So again, I'm not going to sit here and expect you to already know all of the math that's going to be taught to you. If you're stuck with math and you're just stuck in certain equations or whatever the theme is going on or topic, go to our tutorial center. That's what it's there for. That is what you're paying for in order to have that available for you as a free service. It's located in the library, so you can always go in whenever you need. They have certain topics and certain classes that they're working with, so ensuring that you know what class you're going in for obviously will help. All right, click onto the next one. Need help? So first week, hands on, like everyone's gonna go everywhere. We're all going to be expecting to have all our faculty outside. We will be located outside of the T100 building for any student that's a tech and trade student. So everyone that's here, if you have a specific question and you don't know where your class is at and it's expected to be here at Fresno City College, ensure you can come by our booth. We're going to be there the entire first week of school. It'll be myself, it'll be other counselors, it'll be some faculty, some instructors. We will be there for the first day. There are other welcome booths available next to the main fountain over by OAB. And then we'll also help you if you're having trouble with your My Portal, your email, and then class location. Sometimes even as easy as, man, this is new, I don't even know where the restroom's at. We can show you where the nearest restroom is available as well. So everyone will have the opportunity to even meet with the faculty, and you'd be surprised. You can already get to know them and know what to expect, and just presenting yourself at them. If you don't have a question, but you want to come by and say hello, you are welcome to do that as well. So we will have that. Everything is going to be from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Ours is a little more unique, so we might have some people available in the booth because you might have an evening class, and that's totally normal for Tech and Trade. All right, so what's next? Well, this was for yesterday. If you had a chance to come by yesterday, but I know there's also a virtual resource fair, please make sure that you attend that. There's going to be a virtual My Portal and Canva workshop. So if you've never worked with either My Portal or Canva, please attend tomorrow. They're going to go over how to use it, tips and tricks. And then, of course, more resources available is at fresnocitycollege.edu/ramready. So you have other resources to go on to when you log off. And again, if I went too quickly or you had a question that I haven't answered, then you can always go into that webpage for more. Lastly, we're going to have an online survey that's going to go to your email. I'd be happy for you guys to give me any feedback, and hopefully that you got enough information about today's presentation. Sorry, resource fair. I'm going to go into a quick video. If I can click on it, hopefully it'll allow me. Something very brief of just what Tech and Trades and how it's beneficial for you to be in this pathway, but also things to take advantage as a student. So if pressing our fingers, that the sound works.
Welcome to the Tech and Trades pathway. My name is Ray Gamino, and I'm a student ambassador at Fresno City College. I'm majoring in automotive technology and the Tech and Trades pathway. The Tech and Trades pathway includes majors such as architecture, auto collision repair, construction, diesel technology, so on. This pathway provides classes within a broad area of interest and gives you specific options for earning certificates, associate's degrees, preparing to transfer to a university. I'd like to encourage you to get involved with this pathway and possibly join a student club related to your interests. These clubs often host speakers and organize interesting events. We want you to be an involved student, so get to know your team and participate in the activities designed just for you and your interest.
Hi, my name is Arvina Shaw, and I'm one of the Tech and Trades.
Brenda, the video is quiet.
Oh, is it?
Can't hear anything, so I don't know if others are experiencing the same thing, but neither interpreters can hear anything.
Okay, then it probably didn't.
In the beginning, it was working.
And it's happened before. Okay, so I'm going to cut the video short. A lot of what she presented towards the end is exactly what I was already sharing today. We are here to support. We're here to help as much as we can. The best thing about it is that you have a place to go to. It's not just that you're wandering around and you're expected just to go to class. We are in the T100 building for tech and trades. If you can't get a hold of us because we're overbooked or our current counselors are booked, you can also go to general counseling, and there are general counselors there that are also equipped with all the knowledge on how to take certain classes, what classes to take, depending on your major. So don't feel like you're just going to be kind of shoot off to anywhere. We're going to make sure that we get you connected some way or somehow to a counselor so you can meet with them. Again, the first 2 weeks are dedicated so that you can walk in and ask for those questions, but we will be outside in the booth. After that, it will be your responsibility to make an appointment and stick to the appointment, because once the grace period goes by, and grace period can vary. Some counselors, if you're not there, that's it. They move on to the next student if it's available, or they give about 15 minutes. So every counselor works very differently, and every need is served differently as well. So I had a couple of questions. I'm in the questions slide now, and I'm going to go off of the parking. So parking, you do have to purchase it now. There is going to be a little bit of a wiggle room in the beginning of the semester, because we know everyone's still purchasing their parking permits, but I can tell you it's not going to last very long. It may last the first couple of days, maybe the week, but the following week, please expect that parking will be enforced. You need to park correctly. One of our faculty shared yesterday that even if you park on the line, they will give you a parking permit. So park correctly, because everyone drives a different vehicle, and if we all park funky, it's going to make it really complicated for the rest. Staff parking does have to be respected. If you are a student and you are parked in the staff parking, then you will be ticketed as well. We, even as staff, we have to purchase our own parking permit. So if we have to do it, you guys have to do it, and we want to make sure it's a smooth process. We do have the parking structure available, but just remember, it is a bit of a walk from the parking structure all the way to the main part of the campus where we have a lot of our classes taking place. The parking permit can be purchased per semester for $30, or it can be purchased for the year for $80. If I'm not mistaken about the prices, I would suggest do it online. You're welcome to come to the business office and make the purchase as well, but to be honest, they're going to give you a code and you're going to end up doing it online. If you're stuck on how in doing that, just give us a call and we'll help you out with either providing you the link, but most of it should be available on our Fresno City College website. Brian, you asked that you're in the automotive program. Awesome, congratulations. You have classes in the main campus, and when will they eventually go to the West Campus? Those won't take place until spring. Most likely the plan right now is that they will take in spring. Yes, the West Campus is now open, but right now it's just for general education courses. But for the most part, all our auto classes will still be taking place here at the main campus. On that same question, I'm going to turn it into a bigger tip. When you look at your class schedule, please be sure that you are going to the right location. The reason why is, yes, we have the West Campus available. So if it says Fresno West Campus, you are expected to be there. If you arrive here and you think your class is here starting at 2 o'clock, you're probably already late because you've got to get your way over to the West Campus. A lot of our tech and trades programs and majors are also off-site. So for example, if you are in fire or police, they're going to be at the first responders. Not all of them, but most of the training will take place there. Construction, sometimes it's over at our CTC location, and that's off of Jensen and 99. So again, look at your class schedule, pay attention to where you're supposed to be, and make the effort to really plan out your time for the day. If you're not sure, you can always come by and say, hey, I think this is where it's supposed to be, and we'll help you out, okay? Jose, the resource fair, that was yesterday. We did it in the afternoon. I believe today it took place earlier from 12:30 to 1:30. So if you had specific questions about tech and trades, I will put my email below in the chat for anybody that would like to just send me a quick chat. I will get to you as quick as I possibly can about any of the brief questions that you may do. Now, as a career counselor, I might not be able to do academic advising for it, but I can connect you with our counselor so we can set you up for that. So let me put that in the chat for everyone. And it's very simple, brenda.garcia@fresnocitycollege.edu. All right. I'm going to leave it here. If anyone has a specific question, you're welcome to unmute. If you do not, you can always put it in the chat. Other than that, I thank you all for joining me in today's presentation, to our two interpreters, and we welcome you during our first week of classes. Don't be worried, don't be nervous. It's totally normal. Everyone's going to be that way. Just come and find us and we'll be happy to help.
I had a question. My fire tech class is it says it's at FPUN. Well, what campus is that?
Fresno Pacific University, and it might be the hybrid. So please, I don't see it in front of me, but you'd have to check if it's a hybrid class or if you're going to be at the satellite location for FPNU. Oh, Elizabeth, you're here. So for any of those questions for our, like the hybrid classes or FPN, oh my God, FPNU, are students expected to go to the campus? Have you noticed anything different of what's expected for that?
I'm sorry, were you asking me?
Oh, I was, sorry, Elizabeth.
I'm sorry, say that again?
No, you're fine. For students that have it, that it's the hybrid, I believe it's the Fresno Pacific University, is at the satellite campus. So how does that normally work?
So for the FPU, I know we have the location, the North Campus, that's over kind of like in the River Park area. The student who is requesting that, if you can send me maybe the class section, the class number, class subject, I can look it up for you, but normally the Fresno Pacific is the North Campus by River Park. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. I'll send you the class number.
Okay, yeah, put it in the chat. You can send it directly to me if you like, and then I can look into it.
Okay.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Anyone else have any questions about anything that I went over? Or just a question that you had in general about first week of school? You're very welcome, William. Thanks for joining. Jose, it could be questions or anything else that you wanted to go off of today. If you had a comment, that's okay. That's always welcome as well too.
Okay.
Oh, the resource fair. Yeah, the resource fair was just more information of what's available here on campus. So meeting some of the tech and trades staff that was available. We have other special programs that were out there that you'd maybe want to join, like Puente, you know, First Gen, Trio. So that's really what, and just available resources. So if you couldn't make it, you could still come by. Most of you guys, if you got kind of like a first introduction to the campus, you may have seen some of the things, and you're gonna, you know, one way or another cross paths with the counselor that might share information about that. But if you want more information, Jose, I'd be happy to send you something. Just shoot me an email and I can send you all the resources that are available here at Fresno City.
Hey, Brendan, to add to it, if you missed the resource fair, we're going to have links on the website. We're hoping within the next week. So if you go to the Fresno City College .edu/RAM-ready, that website will have the links to all the virtual sessions within the next week.
Perfect. Okay, there you go. All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen and close off with the final tip is we're excited to have you come by. Please take advantage. I think I said that more than I needed to in this presentation, but welcome to Fresno City College, and we'll see you guys all next week.
Oh, Brenda,